Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now, any questions at this moment? Nope.
No.
Okay. Then let's not waste time. And let's go on to our next chapter, which is the last topic of chapter 10, which is going to be what we can call the blood groups. Now, some people may also call it blood types. Okay, so they're both one and the same thing. So blood group or blood type. And but although it's okay, there are different ways on in which as the blood has been grouped or typed. But the one that is just working as universally recognized is the ABO typing or grouping. Okay. Now, guys, I'm just going to write down a statement. And understanding that mean is going to we can say simplifying. Obviously, referring back to that is mean is just going to make it simpler for us to understand the blood grouping and blood typing. Okay, so we can see the blood group. Now, if you don't like the word blood group, then you can say it's okay, blood type. Clear? Is determined on the basis of the type of antigen present on the surface of the red blood cells. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Well, okay. So what is going to determine which blood group you are? It's going to be determined on the basis of the antigen. And where is it if you will find that antigen that's going to be on the surface of the ABC or the RBC or red blood cell, if you want to put it that way. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Good. So what we mainly can say is that yes. Okay, we can do it this way. And say yes, okay, we have a blood group which is known as blood group A. We have a blood group which is known as blood group B. There are even people who are blood group AB. And there are going to be people who may be blood group O. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay. So these are for now, we can say four major types of blood groups that's okay based on the ABO grouping or typing. Yeah. Now, as we just said, the blood group or blood type is going to be based on the type of antigen present on the surface of the RBC. So we can mainly say, okay, the antigen on the red blood cells surface. And as we said, for blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. Okay. Now, basically, it's okay, the two major types of antigens that determines a blood group that is found on the surface of the RBC. So we have the A antigen, or we can say antigen A, and we have as the B antigen, or the antigen B. Okay, these are the two major types of blood grouping antigens that can be found on the surface of the red blood cell. So, as we said earlier, if somebody is of blood group A, that is because he or she has the A antigen. So the antigen that is found on the surface of the red blood cell is going to be the A antigen, and that makes him or her a person with blood group A. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if somebody, for instance, is blood group B, that is because that person's red blood cells has the B antigen. And where is that B antigen found? On the surface of the red blood cell. Now, somebody who was of blood group AB. Now, what did we say? The blood group is determined based upon the type of antigen on the surface of the red blood cell. So a person who is blood group AB, that means that he has both the A antigen and B antigen that determines the blood group on the surface of his red blood cell. Did you guys get that too?
Yep.
Good. Last but not the least, somebody who is blood group O. Now you may be scratching your heads and say, well, okay, we don't have an O antigen. We don't have an O antigen. So here's this O actually is what I meant. 0. So a person which had neither the A nor the B antigen on the surface of the RBC is going to be blood group O. Clear? None of the antigens, nor the A nor the B. Did that make sense? That is correct. That group is blood group O. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Any questions so far?
No.
Now, guys, you had antigens on the RBCs. Now, these again, you're going to be antigens that you are going to be born with or without. Now, what we also have in is going to be antibodies. Now, antibodies where do we find antibodies?
Plasma.
In the plasma. So it's going to be as okay, antibodies in the plasma. Okay. And again, guys, that's okay. Likewise, you only had A antigen or B antigen. Likewise, is there also going to be as okay, two similar antibodies. So that's going to be as okay, antibody A and antibody B. Or B antibodies. Is that clear? Okay. But, what we can say is that, okay, if you had the antigen, or you say, it's okay, that you had the A antigen, and that, for instance, okay, came in contact with the A antibody, that would lead to a reaction. Yep. Where did we have the A antigen? We had that on the red blood cells. Whether we had the antibody, or whether we had the antibodies, that was going to be as okay in the plasma. But it was both A antigen and A antibody, those will react against one another. So the type of antibody that they found in the plasma is going to be associated with what they call antibody B. Because, okay, when the A antigen comes in contact with the B antibody, there will be no reaction. So oppositely as okay, the person with blood group B has the A antigen, or B antigen, sorry. Where did we find that? On the surface of the red blood cells. But the type of antibody that he or she will have in her, in the plasma, is going to be the A antibody. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a person who has both the A antigen and B antigen. Now, we already said that, okay, the A antigen will interact with the A antibody. We likewise can say as okay that the B antigen will then also as okay interact with the B antibody. So if the person here had either of these antibodies in the plasma, they will react against the antigens that he or she had on his or her surface of the red blood cells. So a person who is blood group A, B, had both the antigens, which mainly means that, okay, as he got neither of the antibodies in the plasma. Not all the kind of antibodies, but mainly as okay, just the kind of antibodies that are B antibodies and E antibodies in blood grouping. Did that make sense? Because had he had the A antibody, well, okay, that would react against the A antigen. Had he or she had the B antibody, that would have reacted against the B antigen. So mainly because they had both the antigens, they have neither of the antibodies. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Now the person who, for instance, okay, is blood group O. Now, why did we label or how do we type that person as being having blood group O? Mainly because he had neither of the antigens. Neither did he have the A, neither the B antigen. Clear? Okay. So what you mainly will find is that they got both the antibodies. They have both the A antibody and the B antibody. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So if you just keep in mind that, okay, that's what determined the blood group, that was determined by the type of antigen. And where did you find those antigens? On the surface of the red blood cell. Clear? That was going to determine your blood group. So you say a blood group A antigen. Where? On the surface of the red blood cell. You say blood group B antigen. Where? On the surface of the red blood cell. Okay, you said blood group AB. That's going to be as okay, both the A antigen and B antigen where? On the surface of the red blood cell. Right, okay. You said blood group O, which is mainly as okay, just 0. Which mainly mean neither the A nor the B antigens on the surface of the red blood cell. Did that make sense? Right, okay. Now, opposite, you just have to flip it the other way around and say, well, okay, then we had antibodies. Okay. Now, that's why we said, okay, as previously as, okay, when we talked plasma proteins, those gamma proteins were made, immunoglobulins will become or play a role in the formation of antibodies. Now, these are antibodies which you are going to be born with. Pretty much, okay, as in association with your blood group. But if you have the A antigen, your blood group A, that will mainly mean that you will not have the A antibody because A antigen and A antibody would interact and you would have had a reaction. Clear? So that's why it's okay. A antigen goes with B antibody. B antigen goes with A antibody. Okay? Did that make sense? Now, if you had both of the antigens, which made you AB, okay, you will have neither of the antibodies. Did that make sense? Where, okay, if you were blood group O, you had neither of the antigens. But you would end up having, yes, okay, both the A and B antibody in your plasma.
What kind of reaction does it cause?
Well, it can be anything. It can be a simple rejection that, okay, yes, okay. Like my dear, okay, it can go to as severe as death. A person can die from, okay, as a mismatched blood transfusion. Like that's the extreme reaction. Okay. But mainly as okay, you says, okay, now some people may react by as okay, chills, fevers, etc., etc. Okay. So yes, okay, it can vary all depending upon as okay how strong yes, okay, the person may react. Okay. Now, have any of you ever get your blood group yes, okay, tested? Or do you guys know what your blood group is? Or blood type?
I
No,
have a card somewhere with it because I've donated blood, but I don't remember.
you don't remember.
I think it's
You
A or
may
B.
say, okay, in accordance to HIPAA, it's none of your effing business. I know.
I'll get it when we go on break.
Okay. You have it written down somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, placed on a piece of paper in a far corner, which is all forgotten.
No, I have it on a fancy card.
Okay, fancy car. Wow.
Fancy card.
Okay. Now, no, yes, okay. Just as Teresa asked, yes, okay, what kind of reaction? Well, you mainly says, okay, roughly speaking, yes, okay, there will be hemolysis. Mainly, yes, okay, because, well, okay, as the antigen and antibody may interact. Okay, so for as far as, okay, because it's okay, your A, B, O blood typing. This is, yes, okay, the antigens on the surface of the red blood cell. These were the antibodies in the plasma. Clear? Okay. And when you had a same antigen and a same antibody, they will react. Okay. Because the media says, okay, they named the A antibody, the A antibody because it was going to react against the A antigen. They called the B antibody, it's okay, the B antibody because it was going to react against the B antigen. Now, guys, usually it's okay when you, well, it's okay. At any point, it's okay if you go and test your blood or your blood type. Now, we can mainly say it's okay that we have four blood groups here, right? Okay, because it's okay. You might be as okay labeled as blood group A. You might be labeled as blood group B. You might be labeled as blood group A, B, or you may be labeled as blood group O. Clear? Now, what the ideally is okay, what the mainly is okay, just do is they will take a slide, a glass slide, and place as okay 2 drops of blood on it. Clear? Did that make sense? So
Yep.
they took a slide and they yes, okay, placed a drop of blood on it. Now you may see then okay, as on 1 drop of blood, they add something or a solution, and on 1 drop of blood they add yes, okay, another solution. And what these mainly are going to be is okay, is going to, we can say it's okay, because this is going to be anti-A. And we may put this one here and say, it's okay, this is anti-B. Okay, guys. Now, what the anti-A actually is, that's actually is okay, the antibody A. And what anti-B is actually, it's okay, antibody B. Okay, so they went, or it's okay, they took a slide, pricked your finger, placed 2 drops of blood on that slide. Onto 1 drop, they add the A antibody. Onto the other drop, they added the B antibody. And now they just says, okay, waiting for 30 seconds to a minute to look for a reaction. Now, in this case here, it's okay. If you, for instance, okay, had a reaction in this blood group here, what did that tell you? That your blood was reacted upon by the A antibody, which mainly as okay said, okay, yes, you have the A antigen, which makes you blood group A. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas if your blood reacts to the or shows a reaction in which is okay, you have added the B antigen or B antibody or anti-B, which mainly is okay, tells that okay, yes, it reacts mainly because you had the B antigen, which makes you blood group B. Whereas if your blood reacted in both drops yeah, okay. Here, yes, okay, was just the interaction between, yes, okay, the A antigen being reacted upon by the A antibody. And here, yes, okay, the B antigen was reacted by the B antibody. That mainly means, okay, your blood had both the antigens, A and B. And from that, it was determined, okay, yes, you are blood group B, or AB. Whereas here, there will be no reaction. Why? Even though it's okay, you add the yellow or the antibody, and you add the B antibody. Okay, but why is there no reaction? Mainly because okay, this blood here doesn't have either of the antigens against which is okay, these antibodies that you add onto it will react. So that means yes, okay, makes you blood group O. Okay, now as Teresa asked earlier, yes, okay, what do we call as okay this kind of reaction here? And that is going to be as okay what we will call agglutination. So mainly as okay, what they actually see as a reaction between the A antigen and B antigen being reacted by the A antibodies and B antibodies is going to be as okay agglutination, which is mainly as okay just a fancy word for clumping. So what actually is okay will happen is that okay, as the blood will clump. Now, if somebody doesn't know what clumping is, have any of you ever seen milk turn bad? It splits, right? Okay. Okay. You have okay the water at the bottom, but it's okay that stuff that you have on the top, that is mean it's okay, just clumped milk. So it's okay, the blood can turn into something like that. So that's what you call agglutination, which means it's okay, you can say it's okay, just an allergic reaction of it's okay. The antigens of the body of the blood being attacked by the antibody. Okay. But as okay, the reactions can be as okay different, and as I said, okay, go as extreme as cause death. Did you guys get that?
So it'll only agglutinate if there's a reaction?
But you can put it as well. That's like okay, that would be as okay. it would not only, because you can also have, okay, hemolysis. Okay, but the reaction that we see as okay, especially as okay when they do as okay, the testing is agglutination, which mainly is going to be the okay, it will clump. Clear? Okay. But I can also go as so severe that okay, as hemolysis. Okay. So it varies from patient to patient or from case to case. Now, guys, so let's just go back to to our first slide, our previous slide. Clear? Okay. So what we mainly see here as the reactions. Of the blood. Is what we call agglutination. It's mainly just is a term of for clumping. Now, guys, when we look at our blood groups. When we look at blood groups, the people with blood group AB, people who have blood group AB, sorry, they're going to be known as what you call universal recipients. Which mainly will mean that yes, they can receive blood from any person who has any blood group. Okay. Whereas, people with blood group O, they are what we call the universal donors. Which mean that yes, they will be able to donate blood to any person. But a person with blood group O can only receive blood from a person who has blood group O. Yeah.
So AB can receive anything. They can receive AB or O, but O can only receive from O.
Well, they can either receive blood from A and blood from B.
But not from O.
And O.
Okay.
So blood group AB, they are universal recipients, which mainly mean that they can receive any blood group. They can receive A, they can receive B, they can receive O. Did that make sense? Blood group O are universal donors, which mainly mean that they can donate blood to anybody. But it really sucks to be blood group O because they can only receive from people who are blood group O. They're universal donors, but not universal recipients. And O is relatively, yes, okay, one of the least common blood types or blood groups. So that's okay. When they need blood, yes, okay. In many instances, okay, it becomes okay medical emergency because it's hard to get hold of. There's not that many people out there who has blood group O. So yes, okay, but they can donate to anybody, but yes, okay, as far as receiving, yes, okay, it sucks. Because that has to be, yes, okay, a person who was blood group O as well. Okay. Now, although yes, okay, Dr. O'Brien haven't found, I haven't looked for her fancy card with the blood type on it. But maybe yes, okay, she was struck and she, I remember my blood group now. No?
No.
Okay. But whenever you go and get your blood group, they will tell you, yes, okay, you are A, you are B, you are AB, you are O. That's one thing that they will tell you. Okay. But along with these letters here, A, B, and O, also come a sign, positive and negative. And you go, what the blue? So yes, okay, if you are A, you could be A positive, you could be A negative. If you are B, you could be B positive, you could be B negative. If you are AB, you could be AB positive, AB negative. If you are O, you could be O negative or O positive. So the question is, okay, yes, what determines? What is going to be as okay the determining factor whether you are positive or negative? Now, guys, that's again, yes, okay, if we look at our statement here. Because yes, okay, that type of blood typing or blood grouping is still going to be, yes, okay, determined on the basis of the type of antigen present on the surface of the red blood cell. Okay, but the only thing that's going to be different here is that if, for instance, okay, somebody was going to be positive, that is because he or she has this antigen. With antigen, yes, okay, they call it, sorry, it may go under two names. It can be called as, okay, the D antigen, or it can also be called the RH antigen. So if somebody is, okay, is positive, along with whichever is, okay, A, B, O grouping he or she has, mainly mean that, okay, he or she has the D antigen or the RH antigen. And where that R antigen going to be, that's going to be, okay, on the surface of the RBCs. Whereas, okay, on the other hand, you can say, as okay, what if you are negative? A negative, B negative, AB negative, O negative. So the negativity mainly, as okay, here means that that person does not have the antigen. Which antigen? Yes, okay, the antigen that we call the D antigen or RH antigen. Where would that antigen have been found? If it was there, well, okay, yes, then the person would have been positive. But that would have been on the surface of the red blood cells. So yes, okay, you could be positive of any group. Likewise, yes, okay, you could be negative of any group. So what determines whether you are positive or negative is only determined on do we have this extra antigen? Which extra antigen? Which I called D antigen or the RH antigen. If you have that, well, okay, yes, you are any alphabet positive. Whereas if you don't have that antigen, which antigen, the RH or D antigen, you'll be any group, alphabet group, but negative. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now, some of you will say, well, okay, why couldn't they just call this one here the C antigen? Who knows? Maybe it's okay. Back in the day, blood group O was called C. Ah, okay. Now, some of you will say, it's okay, then why RH? Why RH antigen?
Does RH mean Rogam?
RH means what, dear?
Rogam?
What is rhogium?
Well, it's something that we give to the pregnant patients when they are RH negative.
Okay, we're coming to that fellow right now in just a second. Or maybe you can tell us about it.
I think they like give it to people who are RH negative because I guess when they try to have another baby, it's so um
Okay,
like if the
okay, but what that thing is that you are talking about is actually is okay an RH antibody depressor.
okay.
That's what they give. Okay, but the reason that they call this antigen here, the RH antigen, is that it was first found or seen or discovered in a little fellow called the rhesus monkey, who you see here. So this was just okay. This is can you see this picture of this monkey here?
Yes.
Okay. So this way, that's okay. We had the first, that's okay, found that's okay, we had the first discovery, that's okay, the antigen, which was the RH antigen. So that's okay, which is the, oh, shit. Where the hell? Okay, okay. Which was okay, that's what they call the rhesus monkey. And that's why it's okay, they named it in honor of this fellow here. Now, guys, okay. Did that make sense? Okay, but they also call it the D as in donut, donkey, disco antigen. Now maybe Christina can tell us, that's okay, so what is it that they do? Okay,
Yeah, I'm not sure. It gets
you're not sure
confusing.
now. Okay, that's fine. You can always correct me if I go off track at some point.
It's like so the blood doesn't like mix or something. I don't know.
Okay, okay. Let's put it this way. So let's say that, okay, yes, we have a couple. Is that clear?
Yeah.
There's a man, there's a woman. Whatever agreement they have, they also okay, decide to have a child. Okay. Now the thing here is, and that's just okay, there's no ifs and buts about that. That the man here, yes, okay, he or he gotta be Rh positive. Did that make sense? Whereas, okay, yes, the mom gotta be Rh negative. Okay. Now here we are not talking about the A, B, O grouping. It's just a matter of, yes, okay, the Rh positive, Rh negative thing. Did you guys get that? Now, let's say that, okay, yes, they have a child. And here's, okay, the sex of the child may go after the mother, but the blood group go after the father. So yes, okay, this child that they got here is Rh positive. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
They may have, yes, okay, we can say, okay, another child, another child, another child, another child, another child, who all were, yes, okay, Rh negatives. That doesn't really matter. There, okay, yes. Here, yes, okay, you can say, okay, they may, yes, okay, end up like having another child, which is going to be Rh positive. Now, what the mother does during, yes, okay, the pregnancy, and that even, yes, okay, happens at the pregnancy of the first child, is that, okay, as she will develop, yes, okay, what they call, yes, okay, the Rh antibodies. Is that clear? Is
You
that
said
clear?
you said over time she
No, no,
developed.
no.
Oh, okay.
What I said was, okay, over time they may have, okay, as XYZ number of children who were all Rh negative. Or let's
Okay.
not go into that. Let's just, okay, yes.
So the mom just automatically has Rh antibodies because she's Rh negative.
No, she will not. That's something that she will develop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The mother will develop, yes, okay, these Rh antibodies. Clear. But we can say, yes, okay, they will not act against the mother because the mother will Rh negative, which mainly means no Rh antigen. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. But what about the child? The child has RH, or was that's okay, came out as RH positive, which mainly means that okay, he or she was RH positive because they had the RH antigens, right? Right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
And that's why I said, okay, yes, they could following. Or after this child, yes, okay, this couple could have, okay, yes, XYZ number of children. And let's just say it's okay that they were RH negative. Clear? Okay, why were they RH negative? Because they didn't have the RH antigen, right? So even yes, okay, the blood from the mother which had the RH antibodies developed during yes, okay, the first pregnancy, yes, okay, all these RH negative children here were still safe because the antibodies doesn't have any antigen against which they can react. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Now after yes, okay, the yes, okay, may end up okay having a child which was yes, okay, RH positive. And now all of a sudden, yes, okay, there's a developing child whose blood group RH grouping goes after the father, which means that okay, he or she has the RH antigen or the antigen as you may call it, which makes him or her RH positive against which these antibodies yes, okay, now can react. So what we actually is okay will have is a RH antigen and RH antibody reaction. Did that make sense? And what this reaction leads to is going to be as okay, what they call as okay, erythro. Mainly as okay from your red blood cells, right? Blastosis, fetalis. So what you mean, you can say that, okay, yes, an RH positive child born from an RH negative mother will develop what we can call as okay, erythroblastosis fetalis. So let me just write it clear. Did that make sense? Okay. So the mom, yes, okay, develops RH antibodies. But for that, yes, okay, that required that, okay, she is RH negative. Because if she was RH positive and the father was RH negative, well, okay, yes, the mom will not develop these antibodies. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Clear? Okay. But when these antibodies, which were developed by the mother, reacts with the antigen, or because there's okay, these RH antibodies from the mom reacts with the Rh antigen of the fetus that leads to what they call erythroblastosis fetalis. So what they actually did was that they made as what we can call an anti-D suppressor. Now what the word anti-D here is just stands for is antibody D, which is me just another name for for your Rh antibodies suppressors. So that vaccine that Christina mentioned earlier was what they gave to pregnant ladies who were Rh negative. Okay. Only if it was known that the other partner was Rh positive, because the father is the blood group may go after the father when makes the child Rh positive. And there may be a risk that these Rh antibodies here, or D antibodies, that the mother developed during a pregnancy may act against the Rh antigen of the child and lead to what we call erythroblastosis fetalis. Is that how it goes? So what is it? It's mainly just a substance that suppress the actions of the D antigen, or D antibody, or Rh antibodies. Now, can we ask Christina to tell us when is it that they give that vaccine? How far in the pregnancy?
I think around like 26 weeks.
Okay. 26 weeks, or somewhere in the second trimester, right? Then. But if both partners were Rh negative, do they need to? No. Clear? Because blood group can only go after the father or mother. If it goes after the mother, the child will be Rh negative as well. So even if the mother had the Rh antigen, or antibodies, the child's blood will not have the antigens against which the antibody will react. So you can say it's Hakuna Matata. Likewise, if the but if the father is Rh positive, then there's always 50-50. The blood group may go after father, the blood group may go after mother. Okay, unless some other hanky-panky stuff has been going on, and then you can always just clarify that in the Morris show. Those who don't like it that way, could up to a couple of months ago had gone to the following show, Jerry Springer. You guys know he died, right? You guys didn't know that he died? Jerry Springer is no more.
Didn't Steve take over for him?
Okay, I don't know. My dear, that ex-cop. Yeah, that's the show that comes after it, right?
Yeah, the Steve Wilkos
Yeah,
show
okay.
or something. Yeah.
I thought you meant
Right.
Steve Harvey.
but like, okay, that's a long time ago. Okay, that like, okay, and then some of my students, yes, okay, knew somebody who were working for the, I think Jerry Springer show and the Maury show. I say, so how do they get a hold of these people? Like, okay, I'm just curious, like, who wants to come and sit on international TV and okay, make a fool out of themselves? And she told me, okay, some of the people is okay, she just okay, get paid for that. Like, okay, damn it, like, okay, you're going to be seriously desperate for money if you want to sit there, okay, even if it's just a makeup story, say, well, okay, I screw up the wedding night or whatever. And but you could guess like, okay, first of all, yes, okay, if I'm dressed up in a wedding gown, okay, I would expect to be taken to a church and say, yes, okay, do my I do's. Why in the hell are you bringing me to, yes, okay, to a recording studio? So like, okay, but peace be with that. Okay. So any questions now about the blood groups and blood types? So yes, okay, positive and negative. That was determined based on whether you had the D antigen or RH antigen, or you don't have the D antigen or RH antigen. Did that make sense? So if you have it, well, okay, you are positive. If you don't have it, you are negative. Okay. And it is Rh positive children born of Rh negative mothers that may be at risk of erythroblastoma fetalis. Okay, where you can again say it's okay, it's mainly going to be as okay, there will be severe hemolysis of the fetal blood, or blood, sorry. Clear? Which means yes, okay, will cause that okay, as premature blood cells are released into the circulation, which will cause they get hemolyzed as well. Clear? Okay. So yeah. That's how it goes. Okay. Any questions, guys? Okay, so I guess yes, okay, guys, that was all that I could offer for chapter number 10, or blood. Any last word of wisdom? Nope. Okay. Now just take a short 10-15 minutes break, and should I say I see you guys back at 10:25. Okay, and we start off with the next chapter of the circulatory system, which is going to be the heart. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Now, any questions?
No.
No mobile? Okay, guys. Let's not waste any more time and try to go on to the next chapter. Okay, 11, where we still are, okay, as at the cardiovascular system. But in this chapter here is going to talk about the heart. Clear? Okay. Now, before yes, okay, going into yes, okay, we can say yes, okay, the fun details. That is just talk yes, okay, the actual details of the heart, the structure of the heart, and so on, so on. So, that's just okay. Has come up with some, we can say, okay, fun facts about the heart. Now, first is going to be, we can say, yes, okay, the size of the heart equals the size of a fist. Now, for that respective person, okay, you can't say, well, okay, yes, the size of my heart is going to be, yes, okay, the size of my 3-year-old child's fist. Yes, okay, the size of your heart is going to be the size of, okay, yes, your clenched fist. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Now, guys, anatomically, yes, okay, if we first, yes, okay, look at the chest. Let's do it this way. And say that this is the chest. We can say, okay, this is the right side. This is the left side. Okay. Now, this is mean is okay, going to be is okay, how is okay, the heart will be located. Where is okay, meaning it says, okay, what divides the right and left side is going to be is okay, the mid-sagittal line. So if you go from right to left, we can mainly say, okay, that 1/3 of the heart. Now this 1/3 of the heart is going to be this part here. And we can see it's okay, is on the right side of this mid-sagittal line here. Whereas okay, we can say it's okay, this here, which is going to be as okay, what we'll call the 2/3 of the heart. Well, okay, guys, that's going to be on the left side. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So anatomically, we can actually say that the heart is more tilted towards the left side than the right side. Clear? Okay, so it's not going to just okay be even in the center, but more of the heart is found on the left side of your chest and less on the right. 1/3 on the right, 2/3 on the left. Did you guys get that? Okay,
Yeah.
mainly because okay, we go with a mid-sagittal line. Yes, okay. What's on the right side of that is going to be 1/3 of your heart. What's going to be on the left side of that is going to be the 2/3 of the heart. So the heart is more tilted towards the left side than the right side. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Now we can say it's okay. We can mainly say okay that this point here. Let's okay. Let's choose a curve. Let's see. That this point here is okay. That mainly as I talk about is okay. This extent of the heart from side to side. Whereas okay, we can say it's okay. This next point that we'll be talking about here. Is going to be as okay, where is the extent of the heart from top to bottom? Like this. Okay, so we can mainly say it's okay that the heart, this is my shorthand of heart, okay, is in between, or lies in between, it's okay, the second intercostal space to fifth intercostal space. Did that make sense? So the top part of the heart, which we up here, actually is going to be found at the level of the second intercostal space. Where, okay, the bottom part of the heart, which would be down here, is going to be found in the fifth intercostal space. Okay. And for those of you who still don't know what an intercostal space is, let me just say that that's going to be, it's okay, the space in between two ribs, where we can say, it's okay, one rib is at the top, and okay, that's the other rib, or we can say one rib at the bottom of the space. So for an intercostal space, that's okay, what do we have? We have a rib, and we have a rib. And the space in between these two ribs here is going to be your intercostal space. Clear, where you can mainly say, okay, that's going to be okay, a rib above and a rib below. Right? So when you go from second, third, fourth, fifth intercostal space, from above to below, yes, okay, that's where you mainly will find, okay, the top of the heart and the bottom of the heart. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now our next point or fun fact about the heart. And I just say it's okay that we will mark this with, okay, this color here. And we will mainly say it's okay that there will be this part here. So this point is okay, everything says okay, the lowest most and leftmost. Which meaning is okay will be as okay the tip that we have marked with this green point here. Of the heart is known as the apex. Is that clear?
Yep.
Right, okay. So if we as okay, take our heart as okay in Valentine's Day mood. Right, okay. And we mean it says, okay, what do we call this point here of the heart? That is going to be as okay, what we'll call the apex of the heart. Okay. And this apex of the heart, well, okay, we can say, okay, it is the point where we can find, or let's say it's okay, more correctly, it's okay, feel what they call, yes, okay, an apical pulse. So at the apex of the heart, there is actually going to be okay, a point where you actually can feel what we will call an apical pulse. But this apical pulse here, guys, is going to mean it's okay, just be that you actually can feel the heart beating. If you place your hand at the point, it's okay, where the apex of the heart is, you may feel a slight tap. Okay. And that is actually okay, going to be the pulse or the beating of your apex of the heart. Okay. Now, where do we find this apex? So, okay, we can still, yes, okay, continue, yes, okay, our fun facts. And say, yes, okay, the apex of the heart. Where we say, yes, okay, if you again, yes, okay, take our chest. We say this is the right side. This here is okay, was the left side. We already know that, okay, yes, the heart is more tilted onto the left than the right. Okay. Okay. We can say it's okay. Okay, this here is okay. That's going to be the apex. Okay. Now is in, or we can say it's okay, it's going to be okay on the left side. Okay. Oh, that's okay. When we divide the heart, that's okay. The apex is going to be on the left side. Now, in the fifth intercostal space. So what we actually, that's okay, we'll find here at the point, yes, okay, where your apex is going to be as okay in the fifth intercostal space. Which may mean, okay, the space between, yes, okay, the fifth rib on the top and the sixth rib below. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. But we said that, okay, this line here is okay. That was okay as your mid-sagittal line. Okay. That was your mid-sagittal line. I mean, yes, okay, just divided the heart, no, sorry, the body in the middle along the sagittal plane. So there's actually, that's okay, going to be as okay, and other sagittal line at this point here. Oh, sorry, it should have gone through the heart. So let's just see this. Okay. So this is going to be as okay, another sagittal line, and that's what you call at the point of the mid-clavicular line. Which is mean that's okay, going to be a sagittal line that runs in the middle of the clavicle or your collarbone. So up here is okay, we have the collarbones. So meaning that's okay, a line or a sagittal line that runs right in the middle of the clavicle and straight down in the sagittal plane. That will be as okay at that line as a general recorder mid-clavicular line. So we can make sense, okay, but this mid-clavicular line, yes, okay, crosses the fifth intercostal space. That's going to be, yes, okay, where you normally, yes, okay, will find the apex. And that's where you can find, or yes, okay, feel the apical pulse. Okay, now guys, it's easier to locate the apical pulse on a younger child than adults. Clear? Okay. But that's okay. If your heart goes, yes, okay, you actually, yes, okay, may be able to feel it. Right now, yes, okay, if you try to feel it as you're sitting, but either you gotta be, yes, okay, super skinny. Right, okay, okay. Oh, yes, okay, your heart goes, yes, okay, be beating, yes, okay, fast, even now. We can carry out an exercise and see if that may speed up your heart. And I will say, well, okay, guys, this is all I could teach you for chapter number 12. And your midterm is tomorrow. Okay, I guess no exceeding heart rates here. Okay. Your midterm is only going to be diagrams. Is that affecting anybody's heart rate? Okay. Are you still able? Are you able to feel your apical pulse right now, dear? Nah. Maybe I should. That's okay. Okay. but okay, you may as okay actually. Okay, so but that's actually as okay what we'll call an apical pulse. Okay, so what is it? It's made as okay, just the apex of the heart that you feel beating. Okay, that's what. So that beating is okay of the heart actually is okay will become what you can call just okay a pulse. But this pulse is just felt on the apex. Where do you find the apex? In the fifth intercostal space, and the on the left side in the mid-clavicular line. So where those 2 points meet, that's where you'll find the apex. Okay. Please, yes, okay, that's going to be, yes, okay, in a normal person. When I say normal, yes, okay, that's going to, yes, okay, with no diseases and conditions and so on. So, because there are going to be, yes, okay, cases, scenarios, conditions, phenomena, etc., where the apex may shift. Okay, so I still remember it till today's day. Yes, okay, that was one of the questions that my examiner asked me on my bedside presentation for my pediatrics finals. Can you name any conditions or any, yes, okay, reasons of apical shift of the heart? And you just have to go on. So okay, it can shift in this. No, they were professors in their field, so they've been dealing with these things just okay for 20 years, 30 years. And of course, it's okay, there was going to be okay, some condition or something that you might not have thought of that they were looking for. Because they know what you know and they know what you don't know. So they're looking for you to see if you can come up with yes, okay, what they don't expect you to know. And if you know that, then okay, they say, oh, okay, that was something new. Okay, so, but principally, yes, okay, ideally, yes, okay, that's going to be the normal location of an apical pulse or apical beat, if that's what you call it, because that's where the apex of the heart is. So on the left side, we get says, okay, the left midclavicular line at the fifth intercostal space. Like I said, the left and the fifth intercostal space and the midclavicular line, whichever. Because it means okay, where these 2 points here meet. Any questions, guys?
No.
Good. Now, guys, and this is probably okay, the main okay, unexpected fun fact of the heart. And that is the heart's function is to pump the blood. That's it. That's the whole reason that we have a heart. Okay. So the heart is mainly going to do what? Pump the blood. Okay. No arrows, no Valentine days and all that. That's just maybe as okay, sound good and okay as love letters, books of poetry, etc., but practically, yes, okay, in real world life, yes, okay. The function of your heart is mainly yes, okay, just to pump your blood. And how does it do that? Well, how? Mainly because, okay, the heart is made up of muscles called the myocardium. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. And what we already know, I've talked about is, okay, it doesn't really matter which muscle we are talking about. Our muscles have in common is that they contract. And this contraction of the myocardium leads to, yes, okay, the blood being pumped. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Can you guys see this one here?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is pretty much okay as what it looks like when the heart is pumping or beating. Even just okay in real life. Now, guys, before we get that far, okay, because, okay, as what we have talked about so far is, okay, as what were the fun facts of the heart? Well, okay, as the heart is in the sift of the heart, it's in the size of a fist. 1/3 of the heart is on the right side, 2/3 of the heart is on the left side. Clear? Okay, so that was okay at this side-to-side dimensions of the heart. Where we says, okay, the heart is okay from top to bottom. Or it's okay, where we actually call this here, it's okay, the apex. And the area up here, that's going to be, it's okay, what they strangely enough call the base of the heart. Extends between, yes, okay, the second intercostal space and the fifth intercostal space. Where we said that, okay, this lowermost tip here, which was going to be, okay, on the left side, is what we call the apex. And where was it? Okay, where do we find it as apex? Yes, okay, we find what we call an apical pulse. Apical, yes, okay, just pertaining to the apex. Pulse mainly, yes, okay, just that beating of the heart. But practically, yes, okay, where was that going to be found? It was going to be found in the on the left side at the fifth intercostal space at the point of the midclavicular line. So where the fifth intercostal space is crossed by the midclavicular line, or we can say, okay, where the left midclavicular line crosses the fifth intercostal space, that's going to be, as okay, where we find the apex. Okay. But mainly because it's okay, the heart is made of muscles. We call those muscles specifically myocardium or myocardial muscle. Okay. Now, myocardium, just like any other muscle, mainly had this, okay, specified characteristic, which was going to be, as okay, they will be able to contract. And as a result of that contraction, followed by as a relaxation, where the contraction again is going to be, as okay, followed by relaxation. Mainly, as okay, enables, as okay, the heart to do its only job, which is to pump the blood. Pump the blood where? Primarily, as okay, from compartment to compartment, or from compartment of the heart or chamber of the heart into the blood vessels. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
So the only function of your heart primarily is okay as to pump the blood. Or we can say, okay, to yes, okay, be more specific, we can say, okay, sorry, pump the blood in one single direction. So ideally speaking, yes, okay, the blood would just be going this way. If this was the direction that was set. And not like this. This may mean that, okay, there's something messing up. It's only as okay in one direction. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Any questions?
No.
Nope. Okay. So I hope you already know that, okay, yes, the heart is in the mediastinum, right? Okay, or the mediastinal space. But not so quick, girls. Because, okay, what we will say is, or what we already is, okay, me, to some extent, no, is that the heart. Okay, what about the heart? It's covered in a, what we can call as, okay, bilayered membrane. And when we say bilayered, it's going to be as, okay, made up of two layers. And what do we call this two-layer or bilayer membrane? Yes, okay, that was called the pericardium. Did you guys recall that?
Yep.
Okay, so even though, yes, okay, for instance, okay, open up a person's chest. Before you actually, yes, okay, will be able to see the actual heart, you first gotta deal with the pericardium. Did that make sense? Okay. Now, for some of you, yes, okay, this may just be, yes, okay, a mere repetition, but I'm not going to be repeating this again and again and again. So please, guys, please try to, yes, okay, pay a little bit of attention because I will introduce you guys to, yes, okay, nightmare number 1 of the heart now. Now, what we say is, okay, pericardium is, okay, had 2 layers. So we had, yes, okay, an outer layer of the pericardium, which we call, yes, okay, the parietal layer, right? Right?
Right.
Yes.
The inner layer of the pericardium. Which we call as, okay, the visceral layer. And what we know that we had in between is, okay, these 2 layers of the pericardium here was a fluid called the pericardial fluid. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So these 2 layers of the pericardium here is, okay, made of what we call, so these 2 layers here. The outer layer called the parietal layer, the inner layer called the visceral layer. Together made up, yes, okay, what we call the pericardium, which was made up of 2 layers of membrane. in between which, yes, okay, we had the pericardial fluid. And what was the function of the pericardial fluid? First of all, yes, okay, it acts as a cushion for the heart. Inside the sac of the pericardium. Second, we can mean it says, okay, had it not been for the pericardial fluid, these two layers of the pericardium were actually has been rubbing up against one another as the heart was going to be beating. So that means, okay, it's going to, yes, okay, we can say, okay, lubricate the pericardium. And by lubrication, yes, okay, actually, it's okay, reduce friction between the two layers. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Now, guys, we will talk about, yes, okay, the heart. Or let's say, yes, okay, and we actually can say, look at the wall of the heart in its full thickness is going to be made up of muscles. And that muscle of the heart is what we call the myocardium. Is there anybody who is in doubt of that?
No.
Good. Now, guys, the myocardium or the muscle of the heart, yes, okay, that is going to be, yes, okay, divided into 3 layers. Are you guys following me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So the outer layer of the myocardium is called the epicardium. Is that clear? The middle layer of the myocardium is called the myocardium. And the inner layer of the myocardium is called the endocardium. Okay. So when we take, yes, okay, all these 3 layers here, yes, okay, in their full thickness, they are all together called the myocardium. Now, some of you are going to say, what the? Now, let's just look at these 3 individual layers here. Yes, okay, yes. How does this here make sense? Now, dear students, the epicardium is just going to be, yes, okay, a thin membrane. Likewise is the endocardium a thin membrane. Clear? And this myocardium, as we wrote here, is actually just going to be that actual myocardium that we chalked as as the whole layer of your, or the actual bulk of muscles of your heart. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
So if you say it's myocardium is myocardium, which is going to be this thick bulk of muscle of the heart. But on the outer side, this myocardium is going to be covered by a thin layer, which we'll call the epicardium. Whereas on the inside of the heart, as we pass through the thickness of the muscle, on the inside is going to be a thin membrane that we will call the endocardium. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Okay, guys. So do you think that was the nightmare?
No.
No. The nightmare is just yet to come.
Great.
Okay. And for the nightmare, yes, I will need somebody to volunteer. Okay, there gotta be, yes, a requirement to volunteer.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, Teresa, you
Mhm.
didn't know the requirement for volunteering.
No.
Okay, that's fine. You are a volunteer, so here's the requirement. And whether willingly or unwillingly, yes, do you have a nickname?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to disclose that?
My husband calls me Terry and it infuriates me.
Terry Ann, okay.
Just Terry. Just
Terry, okay, good. That's fair enough. But your actual name is Teresa, right? But he called you Terry out of love or whatever. Now, my dear, physically speaking, when we look at you physically, you are one person, right? Okay. But your husband called you Terry, and everybody else, people here in school, class, at work, in your neighborhood, friends, family, except your husband, call you Teresa.
correct.
Okay. But physically is okay, you are one person. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Did everybody get that? So you may go under
Yeah.
as whatever is names in one group and another group, or from one person to another person may know you by that name or call you by that name, but physically it's you are one person. Now this is where it becomes spooky. No, okay. Because guys, physically speaking, yes, what we mainly can say is that, yes, your visceral pericardium, or the visceral layer of the pericardium, and the epicardium, which is just that thin layer that circles your, is on the outside of your myocardium, physically is one and the same thing. Right, okay. But if we take it as a part of the pericardium, it will be referred to as the visceral layer of the pericardium. Did that make sense? Did I make myself clear here?
Yes.
Whereas, if that very same layer is being taken into context as a part of the myocardium, it is known as the epicardium. So just as we said, if we are calling on Teresa, we'll use the name Teresa, because that's the name that she is known with when she is in our group, or we know her by. Whereas, okay, as if her husband or a better half calls her, that's okay. He will just call her Terry. But physically, it's okay, she is one and the same person. Did that make sense? So what we call the visceral pericardium, or visceral layer of the pericardium, is when we talk, it's going to be physically the same thing. It's physically the same thing. But when we take that, consider that as a part of the myocardium, it's going under the name epicardium. Just like, yes, okay, physically, yes, okay, there's only one Teresa. But when we call her, she would be expecting us to call her by the name Teresa. Clear? Because right now it's okay, she may be it's okay in the myocardium group. But back home, yes, okay. When her other better half calls her, he is the only one who is allowed to call her by the name Cherry. Did that make sense? But physically, it's okay. Physically, it's okay. She's one person. Just going by different names, all dependent upon it's okay where she now is at school, work, so on, so on, so versus that's okay. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Any questions? So we can mainly say, okay, that makes us okay the whole thickness from the pericardium all the way, yes, okay, to the endocardium. And physically speaking, guys, okay, what is it that the endocardium is? It's mainly as okay, just going to be as okay, a thin layer of membrane running on the inside of the myocardium. We can mainly say as okay to separate or act as a separation between the blood that's going to flow through the heart and the myocardium. Okay. Now, guys, let me just do it this way here. Let's see. We should this. Now, guys, you mean that's okay? Okay, so we'll find this picture that's okay here in your book as well. But what I mean is okay, just want to show you guys here is what we just talked about. Okay. Now, guys, okay, this is because it's okay, a section of the heart. Where you can see all this. This that I mean is okay, just outline here is okay in gray. And even that's okay if you go here, and even that's okay if you go here. All this is myocardium. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Whereas if you look here, this outline here that I mark, is what we actually is okay just now called epicardium, because right now it's okay, we are looking at the myocardium. But which also is okay, would have been is okay the same as okay the visceral layer of the pericardium. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. Whereas if you just look closer now, is that okay? Yes, on the inside here, you find this membrane here. And what is that going to be? That is going to be the endocardium. Clear? Whereas if we then now say, it's okay, then what about, it's okay, the parietal pericardium? Or mean it's okay, just have been a sac like this. Okay, because it's okay, this would be, it's okay, the parietal layer of the pericardium. Where that inner layer was going to be, it's okay, this light green layer here, which we just now then call it okay, the visceral pericardium. But it's okay if we take it as a part of the myocardium together with the myocardium and endocardium, it will be called epicardium. And in this sac between is okay, made of okay, as the outer layer pericardium, parietal pericardium, and the inner layer the visceral pericardium, you will have okay as the pericardial fluid. Or if you look here, can you guys see this other drawing?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your parietal pericardium. This is going to be as okay the visceral pericardium. But that's when we take as okay these two layers as being layers of the pericardium. Whereas this visceral pericardium here is okay, now it becomes part of this. Let's consider being a part of this, which is going to be as okay your myocardium. But this will be called the epicardium. Then we have the myocardium, And on the inside of the myocardium is going to be the endocardium. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. So that's okay. Teresa, thank you for volunteering and sharing yes, okay, your nickname with us.
You're very welcome.
It's been a pleasure, dear. Now, any questions?
Nope.
Okay. So what were the layers of the pericardium? Well, okay, yes, they were still 2 layers, respectively, yes, okay, the parietal pericardium, which was the outer, tougher, fibrous layer. The inner layer of the pericardium was what we call the visceral pericardium. If we take it as a layer, or if you consider it to be as okay, a layer of the pericardium. But physically, yes, okay, it's also going to be as okay, the outer layer of the myocardium, but then they were referred to as the epicardium. In between, yes, okay, deeper to which we have that the actual muscular layer of the myocardium, just called the myocardium, which on the inner side is going to, yes, okay, be lined by again, yes, okay, a thin membrane, which we will call the endocardium. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
That sounds good. Now, guys, just one thing. And if you said, okay, yes, we can say, okay, the layers of the myocardium as a whole. Where we know, yes, okay, on the outer side we had epicardium, right? Right, okay. On the inner side of the myocardium was going to be, okay, what we call the endocardium, right? Right, okay. And in between there was going to be, yes, okay, what we will call the myocardium. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Yes.
Good. Now, what we actually as okay will find in between, in between the epicardium and the myocardium, which is the actual muscular bulk of the heart. What we actually as okay will find here is going to be as okay what we'll call the coronary vessels. Or to be more specific, yes, okay, we can say it's okay, the coronary blood vessels. Yeah, okay, now why we call them the coronary vessels? Okay, we can talk about that later on. But guys, these are mainly okay going to be the blood vessel that okay as will supply blood to the myocardium or the actual muscle of the heart. Although yes, okay, we are still would know that okay, we are still talking okay, yes. Inside the heart, Or yes, okay, on the other side of it, okay, what we call the endocardium. Well, okay, that's going to just okay be blood. That is going to just okay be pumped as this heart here is okay contract and relaxes. But this blood here is going to do no good. Or we can really say it's okay that okay the myocardium is not going to benefit from any of the blood that is being pumped by the heart as it is being pumped through the chambers of the heart. So the heart actually is okay. The myocardium actually is okay. We have its own blood being supplied. Yeah, it's okay. What you call it? Okay, the coronary arteries. But those coronary arteries are going to just okay lie between the epicardium and the myocardium. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is mainly as okay through as okay these coronary blood vessels here is okay that the myocardium will get its blood supply. Okay, and what's going to be in that blood supply? Well, okay, is all the goodies that the heart or the myocardium actually is okay may be asking for. Or what? Primarily as okay oxygen. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now, this heart here is okay, although we may say, well, okay, yes, it contracts and relaxes on itself. But there gotta be as okay something that okay as controls and regulates that. And that's why we actually as okay later on, probably not today, maybe tomorrow, as okay, get that far, that we talk about as okay. That we may refer to okay, it's okay, say that it could actually be as okay, what we can call as okay, conduction pathway. Okay, we can either call it a conduction pathway or the conduction system. Okay. Now this conduction system here, conduction pathway is actually is okay, myocardium. But it's mainly as okay going to be specialized form of myocardium in the sense that okay, this is going to be the myocardium that actually is okay carries the electrical signals throughout the heart. Now, when I say electrical signals, it's not electrical signals that you know from your home gadgets. It's more going to be a chemical electrical signal. Clear? But as this signal is flows through this conduction system, that actually is enables the heart to beat in the way that it beats. Okay, but where is it that we find that conduction system? It's going to be in between the myocardium, which is the actual muscular bulk of the heart, and the endocardium. Did that make sense? Just as I said here. That's okay, that there will be the conduction system. Okay, and what's going to happen? Yes, okay, we have this conduction system. Yes, okay, we can say, okay, the electrical signals are being, yes, okay, are traveling. Okay, but yes, okay, the myocardium will actually, yes, okay, receive its electrical signals from this conduction system. So from the outer side, that's okay, it receives its blood supply. On the inner side, that's okay, that's where it's okay, it receives its electrical signals. Any questions? Okay, so we will have a small discussion about the coronary arteries. we will have, okay, as a little bit further, so, okay, detailed account about the conduction system of the heart. But at this point here, is there anybody who has any question?
No.
No. Okay, guys. Now the heart. What the hell? The heart has. Now there are different ways in which, yes, okay, the heart may be, yes, okay, divided into different units and so on. So, okay, but we can say, okay, the main two ways is, okay, yes, that it has two sides. Yeah. And those two sides are going to be, yes, okay, straightforward. There's going to be, yes, okay, a right side. And then there's going to be, yes, okay, a left side. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if we said, okay, yes, if this was the heart, there's one way that they divide it and say, yes, okay, we divide the heart in like this. And we say, yes, okay, this will be the right side. This will be the left side. So yes, okay, you may, yes, okay, come across that somebody says, okay, right-sided heart, left-sided heart. Which means, yes, okay, when they say right-sided heart, that means, yes, okay, because they are referring to, yes, okay, this side of the heart here, which is the right side. Whereas if they say left-sided heart, it means, yes, okay, they refer to this side here. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. So this was one way in which, yes, okay, the heart could be divided. Okay. Now, we can also say that, okay, yes, now the heart, yes, okay, it has two sides. Okay, now what the heart also has is, well, okay, it's going to have we can say it's okay, two sets of chambers. Or let's put it this way here. Okay, two pairs of chambers. Okay. Yep. Okay, so it's going to have this, okay, two pairs of chambers. That we mainly can say is, okay, that one pair of these chambers here can be as, okay, the right-sided chambers. So one pair can be as, okay, the right-sided chambers. And the other pair can be as, okay, the left-sided chambers. Okay. That is one way in which, as, okay, the two pairs of chambers are divided. You meaning it says, okay, what are going to be the right-sided chambers? That's going to be as okay, the chambers or the pair of chambers that we have on the right side, which are going to be the left-sided chambers, are going to be as okay, the pair of chambers that we have on the left side. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, guys, you may ask, okay, Mike, what do we mean by chambers? Now, just consider it's okay, this to be as okay, a room. They actually, it's okay, call them chambers because, okay, they were hollow spaces in the heart. Or you can say it's okay, a more fancy word for a room or apartment or enclosed space is going to be a chamber. When people of royalty is okay would say, well, okay, it's time for me to go to my bedroom and so on. So then when I say, well, I'm going to bed, that's how common people will speak. They will say, I will withdraw myself to my chamber. It's mean, okay, there's one room over there where I'm going to go to. And okay, yes, whether you see or don't see, it's okay, a board on the door saying do not disturb, don't disturb. Okay, so that's okay. In that sense, that's okay. So any that's okay empty room or any room in the heart will be referred to as a chamber. So your heart is going to have as okay 4 chambers or 4 rooms. But 2 rooms are going to be on the right side. 2 rooms are going to be on the left side. So those will be as okay, the rooms on the right side will be the right chambers. The rooms on the left side will be the left chambers. So that's how we as okay might have divided them into 2 pairs as okay based on the sides. Clear? Okay, so we can mainly say, okay, what is it the right chambers will make up? They make up as okay what they call the right sided heart. Did you guys get that? Where okay, the left chambers, what will they make up? They will make up what we call the left sided heart. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Now I know that's okay. The heart that I'll be drawing is not going to be a Mona Lisa. Okay, it's not going to be a Mona Lisa. Okay, but it's okay. We can always okay go and look at the diagram of the heart in the book and relate to those. Okay, okay, as well. So if we said that, okay, yes, this side of the heart here is okay, was the right side. And we say, it's okay, this side here is okay, was the left side. These 2 rooms here, or these 2 chambers on the right side will make up the right side of the heart. These 2 rooms or chambers on the left side will make up the left side heart. Is that clear?
Yep.
Now, guys, if we take, yes, okay, the same heart and say, well, okay, yes, we have 4 rooms. Or 4 chambers, right? Okay. We already said, okay, yes, that this here is okay, was the right side. We also said, okay, as this here is okay, was the left side. So that's how we actually, as okay, we had, if we as okay, divided it this way, we said, okay, this is the right side of heart, this is the left side of heart. But guys, that's okay, even that's okay when we talk about the heart. These two small rooms here on the top go under a common name. Likewise, it's okay, these two big rooms here at the bottom have a common name. So you can even see it's okay that we have, it's okay, these two here will make up a pair of these two rooms here will make a pair of. And that's actually going to be as okay, what we will call is okay, these top smaller pair of chambers here. So we actually have okay, a pair of atria. Because okay, the name of this room here is going to be the atria, the name of this room here is going to be the atria. So we have a pair of atria as well. There's going to be a right atrium and a left atrium. An atrium on the right side and an atrium on the left side. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas these bottom rooms here, or bigger rooms here, or bigger chambers, we may as okay, they are called the ventricles. So you can say okay, you have a ventricle on the right side and you have a ventricle on the left side. But when we take these two chambers and put them together, that makes it okay, it's a pair of ventricles. Okay, where the pair is made as okay on both sides, or that's okay for both chambers is going to be made up of left and okay, yes, right. Switching of the colors, but you guys got the cue. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Or if you may say about, okay, this is my bedroom. This is another bedroom. We can say it's okay on the right side of the hallway, on the left side of the hallway. But for me to, yes, okay, go to the bedroom first, I have to enter into the dressing room. Because I'm not going to be wearing outside clothes when I enter the bedroom. I'm going to go into, yes, okay, my pajamas or whatever. Right. So on either side, it's okay, you have a dressing room through which you will enter before getting into the bedroom. Did that make sense? So we have a pair of ventricles, we have a pair of atria. That pair of atria is going to be as okay, the atrium on the right and the atrium on the left makes up that pair. The pair of the ventricles is going to be made out of the ventricles on the right and the ventricle on the left. Did that make sense? So your heart has a total of 4 chambers. Or 4 chambers, right? Okay. Which can be paired as the right pair and the left pair. Or which can be paired as, okay, as the pair of atria and the pair of ventricles. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you want to enter a room, what do you need?
A door.
Door. So, what you actually is okay, will have in the heart are going to be as okay, or in a household or referred to as doors. Because okay, to enter or leave a room, you would need a door. Right? But it's okay. In the heart, we're going to call these doors here. Okay, they're not going to be called doors. They're going to be called valves. Did that make sense? Okay. And they pretty much, okay, just act like regular valves. Now, I don't know, it's okay, if any of you seen it's okay, valves and water pipelines or so and so. But okay, as they open, they close. They open, they close. Just like, okay, as a door open and a door close. Door open and a door close. Did that make sense? So when the door is open, what can happen? That's when you may enter from one compartment into the next compartment, right? Right? Okay. When a door closes, what's going to happen? Well, okay, yes. If you already are in a room, you can't. Well, you are in the room. Okay, but that's okay. Since the door is closed, you can't leave that room, right? Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Okay. But in the heart, yes, okay, we don't call the doors doors. We call them valves. Did that make sense? Okay. So the heart, yes, okay, how many valves do we have? Well, okay, guys, that's okay. There's going to be, it's okay, a total of, okay, let's use these colors here. 4 valves. But how can these valves here, it's okay, be distributed? We can still say, yes, we have, okay, yes, valves on the right side. We are also going to, yes, okay, have valves on the left side. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So on the right side, yes, okay, where is it that we find the valves? On the right side? Well, okay, they're going to be, yes, okay, a valve between the atrium and the ventricle. That's very fine. Yes, okay, one of the right valves. The other right valve is going to, yes, okay, be, yes, okay. Now, I draw it here as okay, just for as okay. Okay, understanding. But it's going to be as okay, mainly as okay, just the valve that's going to as okay, open up from the ventricle and okay, yes, go into a blood vessel. Off from a ventricle, sorry. So that makes up, yes, okay, your 2 right valves. Likewise, guys, that's okay. Similarly, yes, okay, we have 1 left valve here. And we have, okay, another left valve here. So that becomes, yes, okay, the right pair of valves, the left pair of valves. Is that clear? If we just say, it's okay, for simplicity's sake, it's okay, labeled as 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but what we actually also may do is that, okay, we will say it's okay, the left on the right, or the valve, first valve on the right side. If we just name it 1 and 2, or 1 and 1, 1 and 2, and so and so. And we can say it's okay, the valve on the left, right side, sorry. They can be grouped together. Likewise, okay, yes, isn't that we actually also will, yes, okay, group valve number 2. Here we just call valve number 2. on the left side, 2, yes, okay, valve number 2 on the right side. Okay. So this will mainly be, yes, okay, the way that, okay, yes, we will discuss the heart. The chambers and the valves. Clear. So each chamber will go under its own name. Each valve will go on its own name. But the chambers can be grouped together in different ways. The valves can be grouped together in different ways. So guys, go and get some ATP. Because you're going to be in need of it once we return back from the break. But just think of it in this way, guys, okay? Let's look at your household. Look at your house. Every room may have a name, right? You may say, well, okay, that's the upper bedroom, or that's the children's bedroom. Okay? That's the master bedroom. This is the TV lounge. This is the guest room. This is the restroom, and so on, so. Okay, likewise, you will say, okay, this is the door to the master bedroom, the door to the so and so. So yes, okay, once you now leave, yes, okay, whatever room you're sitting in, and trying to, yes, okay, walk to the kitchen. You will say, okay, I go from one room to the other room, and I can enter the kitchen to fuel up with glucose or ATPs or whatever goodies you intend to just, okay, stuff down your throat. But when you come back, yes, okay, what is it that you're going to be? Fueled up with fresh energy after, yes, okay, being filled up with goodies or fagged goodies. You're going to be, yes, okay, that macrophage. And now be able to just, okay, go through, yes, okay, another journey through some other rooms. So this whole journey is okay of, yes, okay, considering you being, yes, okay, a drop of blood traveling, yes, okay, through the heart. What is it that you experience? If that makes sense. That's going to be, yes, okay, what we will talk about once you guys come back. And I will see you guys back at 12:50. So go ahead, bag.
You're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Loud and
Yes.
Okay, sorry guys. Okay. So does anybody have any questions at the moment?
no.
No.
Let's try to see if we then can continue. Because okay, luckily I can't hear myself. Especially not through the computer. So anyways, okay, good. So we mainly said that okay, as this heart here has 4 chambers. And we have 4 valves. Yeah. Okay. And we could divide the heart in 2 sides. Okay. So you can see it's okay. This side here will be the right. This side here will be the left. Now we mainly had 2 top chambers. One on each side, which was going to be called the atrium. But this one here going to be the right atrium. This one here going to be the left atrium. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yep.
Good. Following to that, where we're going to have this chamber here on the right. And we can see, yes, okay, this chamber here on the left. Where these chambers here will be called the ventricle and ventricle. Where we could say that, okay, this one was going to be the right ventricle, and this one here was going to be the left ventricle. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, if we, for instance, okay, want to talk about as okay, the journey of the blood through the chambers of the heart, right? Okay, through the chambers of the heart. We mainly as okay will start and say as okay, whenever as okay the blood comes to the heart, or as okay initially as okay enters a chamber or room of the heart. That's going to be as okay the journey through the heart. We'll start from that point. And that's going to be as okay on the right side. So guys, that's okay on the right side. The heart mainly is okay is going to receive blood that returns back from the body. Or returns back as okay after being as okay through a journey through as okay the different body structures via as okay 2 major blood vessels, which will enter into the right atrium. So they may mainly as okay enter or empty the blood that they carry into the right atrium. Here, okay. Now one is going to be as okay what we will call the superior vena cava. And the other blood vessel that brings blood back from, yes, okay, the body is going to be this fellow here, which will be, yes, okay, what we call the inferior vena cava. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
The inferior vena cava brings blood to the body.
No, it brings blood to the heart back from the body.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how these are formed and so on, so on, so on, what actually is, okay, makes up the superior vena cava and or inferior vena cava. We will talk about that at a later instance. Clear? Okay. But simply as, okay, now we just can say as, okay, the superior vena cava, well, okay, that's going to bring blood back from the head, your neck, and what we know is inside the head is going to be as, okay, the brain. Right, okay. Okay, so every structure that's okay within the head and the head itself. Okay, you can say it's okay, the eye, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the tongue, the gums, everything, yes, okay, that falls within the head. All that blood is going, yes, okay, the returns from those structures are going to, yes, okay, enter the right atrium through the superior vena cava. Even, yes, okay, blood that returns back from the neck. And, okay, yes, the structures that you find in the neck is going to empty in through the superior, into the right atrium through the superior vena cava. Is that clear? Okay. And, well, okay, so I just say it's okay, the upper extremity or upper limb, which is mainly as, okay, your arms, forearm, hand, fingers, and so on. So all that blood that returns back to the heart from these structure will empty as, okay, into the right atrium through the superior vena cava. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, okay. Whereas if we say it's okay, the inferior vena cava. Well, guys, just to make it sure, not to go into, yes, okay, a whole lot of details, we can say it's okay, all structures in the abdomen. All the organs, glands, blah, blah, bleep, bleep, bloop, bloop, in the abdomen, all that blood that comes back from that is going to, yes, okay, return back to the heart or to the right atrium via the inferior vena cava. Likewise, that's okay, the pelvis. Is that clear? So yes, okay, all the organs and structures in your pelvis. All that blood that returns back to the heart, empty into the right atrium, but it's going to be carried via what will come the inferior vena cava. And yes, okay, we can even say it's okay, the lower extremity. Did that make sense?
Yeah, so just to clarify, the blood from your lower extremities enters the right atrium through the inferior vena cava.
Ultimately.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Because okay, the blood vessel that brings blood back from your lower extremities are going to join blood vessels in the pelvis. But ultimately, when you take out okay, all these blood vessels that brings blood back from all these structures here will be formed, yes, okay, making one major vein, which we call the inferior vena cava. Likewise, all blood vessels that, okay, yes, eventually, yes, okay, drains the brain, drains the head, the structures within that, the neck, so on, so on, so. Ultimately, it's okay, will form one big blood vessel that is going to be called a superior vena cava. So you can maybe say that superior vena cava means, okay, just bring blood back from these structures here, whereas your inferior vena cava will bring blood back from the structures and organs and so on, so on, so which are found in the abdomen, the pelvis, and the lower extremity. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So all blood that comes back from the body, all the blood that is okay returns back from the body is okay. The first area or place where it will enter into the heart is going to be at the right atrium. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
Okay. So let us put it this way. Okay, this is going to be as okay the first room that you enter into when you come from outside. Whether you came from outside as okay, or was a drop of blood that came outside as okay, entered the house through, let's say, as okay, a front door because as okay, you just came back from work. Or whether you were a drop of blood that is okay, entered the home from as okay, from the backyard because you have been out there. Let's say it's okay, playing, okay, as planting vegetables, whatever. But you enter as okay through as okay a separate door. But this is going to be as okay the room into which you will enter the house first, which we'll call the right atrium. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Now, guys, we can say yes, okay, if you want to, yes, okay, leave. Because ultimately, yes, okay, more and more blood is going to, yes, okay, return back to the right atrium. So that may mean that, okay, yes, the blood that entered the right atrium at the first is going to, yes, okay, have to be able to, yes, okay, leave the right atrium and go into the next room. Did that make sense? That may mean that, okay, yes, we have a door or a gateway between the right atrium and what's going to be the right next room, which is going to on the right side, which will be the right ventricle. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. And this valve here now is going to, yes, okay, all valves are going to be called valve. But the valve that we have between the right atrium and the right ventricle is going to be, it's okay, what we call the tricuspid valve. Now, the reason that we call it a tricuspid valve is mainly, it's okay, because it has three cusps or flaps. That, okay, yes, will open and close, open and close, open and close. Okay, so they just call this valve here, yes, okay, the tricuspid valve because it got three flaps. Okay, now, okay, yes, 3 out of your 4 valves are going to have three cusps. But it's not going to be all of them that we call a tricuspid valve. It's only going to be this fellow here that they call the tricuspid valve. Okay. So that's just the name that it goes under. Did you guys get that? Okay. But we can mainly say as, okay, when that valve opens, what would that cause? That may cause blood from the right atrium going into the next room on the right side of the house, which is going to be the right ventricle. Did you guys get that? So when that door opens, well, okay, as whoever was in the right atrium, well, okay, door is open. Now you can go from this room into the next room, which will be the right ventricle. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. Now, ultimately, yes, okay, that drop of blood, well, okay, yes, it entered either through this way or through this way, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, yes, okay, it travels through the valve here, now is in the right ventricle. Now, mainly because, okay, more and more blood is going to, yes, okay, return to the right atrium. So that means, yes, okay, you will say, well, okay, you have to leave the right ventricle at some point. Okay, now, guys, that's going to happen, yes, okay, through another valve. Well, let me just do it this way. And say, well, okay, there's going to be a valve here. Not here, but I said it's diagrammatically, yes, okay. So we have enough room here. Okay. And this valve here, yes, okay. Now that's me, yes, okay, going to, yes, okay, lead into a we can say it's okay, a blood vessel here. Okay. But this valve here, yes, okay, he or she is going to be called the pulmonary valve. Now, why is it going to be called a pulmonary valve? It's mainly as, okay, this set of valves here is mainly as, okay, just going to be named after the blood vessel that it opens into. And this blood vessel here is going to be as, okay, what we'll call the pulmonary artery. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
We can mainly say
Yeah.
as, okay, the blood that takes blood from the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery is going to be as, okay, the pulmonary valve. Okay. So we mainly as, okay, just call this valve here the pulmonary valve because it opens into what we can say is, okay, will be a pulmonary vessel. Which kind of vessel? Yes, okay, an artery. Now, guys, although it's not part of the study now, that's the thing that I want to go over right now, but just briefly, any blood vessel that takes blood away from the heart, or we can say, okay, it takes blood from the heart to an organ, will be called an artery. So something that all arteries have in common. Something that all arteries have in common is going to be, yes, okay, that there will be blood vessels that takes blood that comes from the heart and takes it to the organ or tissue or gland or whatever you want to call it. Did that make sense? Clear? And the name of that artery, especially as, okay, we talk about as, okay, arteries supplying structures, tissues, glands, organs, etc., will be named after that organ. So the pulmonary artery is a blood vessel that takes blood from the heart and supplies it to an organ. What would that organ be? That would be the lungs. Because the word pulmonary comes from pulmon, which means, okay, just means lung. Pulmonary is just pertaining to the lungs. Clear? So they call the blood vessel that is okay. Supplies blood is going to be an artery. Supplies blood to what? To the lung is going to become the pulmonary artery. Did that make sense? So mainly because your pulmonary valve opens up into the pulmonary artery. That's why they call it a pulmonary valve. Okay? The gate that's open up into heaven will be the gate of heaven, right? Okay? Or else, okay, gates or flap doors or whatever, okay, that opens you into hell. It's called gateway of hell. Do you guys know that in New York there's a place called gateway of hell? No? Well, okay, yes, if you drive in that area, it looks like hell. Because you're down there and okay, you see it's okay, all the it's okay highways and so on, so it's on top of you. So it looks like okay, you're down there. Look it up. Not now. At some later instance, yes, okay. If you really want to, you'll say no. Or it feels like being in hell, then okay, yes. No, okay. God protect you guys. But yeah, it's okay. I once got stuck there. And okay, it said this is a one-way road. And I looked around, I said, okay, there's nobody. The only thing I saw was okay, a police car. And I said, better get a ticket than be stuck in hell. So I just like made a U-turn and drive down a one way. I said, okay, listen, guy, okay. If the cops stop me, I said, okay, I better get out of hell. You want to give me a ticket for that? Okay, yes. Okay, I guess they realized that okay, I was not familiar to this area, so they okay. Anyways, so good. So that's why that's okay. That gateway that opens up into the pulmonary artery, which is going to be a blood vessel that takes blood now from the right side of the heart or from your right chambers to the lungs, right? Now I know we haven't discussed the respiratory system yet. But honestly, guys, what do you think happens in the lungs?
And that's where the blood gets oxygenated.
Exactly. So the blood that comes as okay, is it carried via the pulmonary artery to the lungs? Now I know this is going to be as okay a bad smoker because I already used pink. So we guess as okay, this will be as okay our period of lungs, right? Okay, through which as okay the pulmonary arteries will go. Okay. But this blood here is going to just okay be low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide. Why? Because this is blood that returned back from the body cells, tissues, and so on. So the oxygen that they had when they started that journey has already been, yes, okay, or most of it, not all of it, but most of it has already, yes, okay, been delivered to the tissues. And what was it that the tissues did in return? Yes, okay, make the blood pick up carbon dioxide. So now it's time to get rid of that carbon dioxide. Did that make sense? So that's why it's okay, it goes, yes, okay, and through the lungs. Did you guys get that?
Yep.
As you, every time you breathe, yes, okay, what's going to happen? The blood that was in the lungs, which was brought back from the body, which was loaded with carbon dioxide, is going to, as okay, exchange that carbon dioxide from fresh air that you inhaled in. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. So. Okay, I may be running out of colors. But anyways, we can say, we can use this color here. That's fine. This blood that now is okay has been loaded with carbon, as okay, oxygen is now going to be as okay, fresh blood that will be brought back to the heart. Now, which side of the heart? That is going to, yes, okay, enter the left side of the heart, or the left atrium. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay. And what we actually, yes, okay, will call this blood vessel here is that will be called, yes, okay, the pulmonary. Because it still, yes, okay, has something to do with, yes, okay, as your lungs. But there will be veins. So pulmonary is okay because still is okay related to the lungs. But veins. Now, so that's why we just okay can go and say, it's okay, what is common in all veins? One thing that all veins have in common is that they will bring blood from the heart, from an organ, tissue, structure, etc., back to the heart. Did that make sense? Your superior vena cava and inferior vena cava were nothing but mainly as okay, just big veins that were made up of multiple veins each that brought back blood from yes, okay, respective areas that these two vena cavas were draining. Okay, or bringing it back to the heart. But likewise, blood that returns back from the lungs or has been brought from the lungs to the heart will be carried that way, yes, okay, through the pulmonary veins. Did you guys get that? Now, okay. Now this is where, yes, okay, you may say that, okay, yes, God, you are great. Because God didn't mix this blood that now has been, yes, okay, mixed, yes, okay, loaded with oxygen. It didn't mix it with, okay, as the blood that was low, poor in oxygen. So it kept it at a separate chamber. I took it back to, yes, okay, to a separate chamber, which is now going to be the chamber on the left, or the first chamber that you enter in on the left side, which is going to be, yes, okay, your left atrium. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we mainly can say is that, okay, as both the atria do, or what we have, okay, both the atria do, whether that is the right atrium, or let's say, yes, okay, the left atrium, is that, okay, as they receive veins. Clear? Now you were a drop of blood. Well, okay, yes, you just made, okay, yes, your journey from, okay, yes, from the lungs, and now, yes, okay, enter the right atrium. Oh, sorry, left atrium. And more blood is going to, yes, okay, be coming behind you. So you can't be staying in this left atrium here forever. You gotta leave. You gotta leave. And that's why it's okay. We actually is okay now have a door between the right atrium, sorry, the left atrium and the left ventricle. And we say, okay, we call these doors here, it's okay, they're all going to be called valves. But this valve here is going to be, okay, be the bicuspid valve. Probably it's okay, a little bit too big, sorry. Bicuspid valve. Now, the reason that we call this fellow here is, okay, bicuspid valve is because it only got two cusps or flaps. Okay, because we know that bi means two. Although it's okay, we here says, okay, that this is called tricuspid because of three. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now we talk a bit about, okay, the cuspid thing in just a little bit. So this was going to be the bicuspid valve. And simply, yes, okay, guys, as I said, when a valve opens, blood goes from, yes, okay, room number 1 to room number 2. Or in this case here, we can say blood goes from the left atrium into the left ventricle. Since, okay, as when door closes, that's okay, you can't go from the from the left atrium into the left ventricle. Okay. Unless that's okay, you are Casper or any is okay, crazy spirit. Okay, guys. Any questions at this point here? Good. Now, guys, the bicuspid valve is not only going to be the only valve with just two flaps or two cusps, as we call it. It's also going to be, okay, the only valve with two names. So he or she may also be called the mitral valve. So another name for your bicuspid valve is the mitral valve. Is that clear?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. So yes, okay, once you have passed through the mitral valve, mainly yes, okay, because it opened. Now you are in the right or in the left ventricle. The mitral valve closes or the bicuspid valve closes, yes, okay. If you were able to pass through, yes, okay, now you are in the left ventricle, sorry. And now, yes, okay, it's just about time that you, yes, okay, leave the left ventricle as well. So that's mainly, yes, okay, going to happen, yes, okay, when this valve here opens. The valve that leads out of the right or left ventricle. Now, this is also going to be called XYZ number or XYZ name of valve. But that's going to be called the aortic valve. And why? Mainly as just like the pulmonary valve was called a pulmonary valve because it opens into the pulmonary artery. This aortic valve is called aortic valve mainly because it opens into the major artery of your body called the aorta. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Now, when I say that, the aorta is the major artery of your body, that's mainly because, all arteries in your body, all arteries in your body are going to, directly or indirectly branch off the aorta. Okay? All arteries in your body are going to, directly or indirectly branch off the aorta. With one exception. There's one artery in your body that doesn't branch off the aorta. And which one would that be? There's one artery in your body,
Pulmonary,
the pulmonary artery. Because where did that come from?
the lungs,
Nobody. Where did that come from? Be careful when you answer
Oh.
my questions.
the inferior vena cava.
No.
I don't know that.
Where does your pulmonary artery come from?
Right ventricle.
Pardon me?
Right ventricle.
The right ventricle, right? Did that make sense? So that's going to be the only artery in your body that doesn't directly or indirectly branches off your aorta. Clear? Now the reason that I say indirectly because you say, well, the artery that supplies blood to to my left pinky fingertip. Is that going to directly branch off the aorta? No. Indirectly because they're going to be a branch of the aorta. The never branch. But ultimately, it's an indirect branch of your aorta will be responsible for supplying blood to the distal fingertip of your pinky. Or your little toe, it doesn't really matter. Clear? Okay. So the only artery in your body that doesn't originate off from the aorta is the pulmonary artery. It's still a blood and it's still an artery because it does what every other artery does. Takes blood from the heart to an organ. Or supplies blood to an organ or structure. Did that make sense? But it does not branch off your aorta. Now, guys, just look here for a second. So, when we earlier said that, yes, the function of your heart was to pump blood. Let's be honest. As far as, yes, the pumping is concerned, that is going to happen as the myocardium of the chambers contract. Clear? Okay? Because what would that do? What would that contraction of the chambers do? That will mainly as push onto the blood within that chamber. Just think of it in this way. You have a sponge soaked in water. Now, what do? You may take that sponge out and say, okay, I want to get all the water out of the sponge here. What will you do? Squeeze it, right? Now, here, yes, okay, you squeeze your hand, and okay, yes, due to that, yes, okay, you put pressure on the sponge, and okay, yes, the sponge, yes, okay, the water will, okay, be squeezed out of the sponge. But you can say, yes, okay, you had a chamber where the walls actually, yes, okay, that chamber actually is okay, contract. Squeeze and make the chamber smaller and put pressure on the valve, on the blood. And it's mean, yes, okay, going to, yes, okay, push it. Push it where? Up against the door. And that's when the door starts opening. Now, what do we call the doors? We call them the valves. Okay, so the question arises, what is the function of the valves? Because they don't pump.
Don't they control the flow?
Okay, Teresa, you are, let me put it, 96% correct. Okay, flow, but there's something more to that flow. Confused? That's okay. We got 96% of the answer is already, it controls the flow. There is just, okay, one single little word. Oh, yes, okay, add up for those remaining, oh, yes, okay, 4%. And guys, okay, it doesn't really matter. So we can mean it says, okay, the function of the valves. It doesn't really matter which valve we are talking about. It's the same for all of them. Is to, what do you say, control the flow. That's what you said, right, Teresa?
Yes.
Good. So that was your 96%. The 4% is going to be here. The unidirectional flow. And if you see, yes, okay, what I've been talking about so far, we said, well, okay, yes, blood flow from right atrium to right ventricle. From right ventricle to pulmonary artery. From here, it's okay, went to the left atrium. From left atrium, it goes into left ventricle. And from left ventricle, it's okay, into the aorta. That means it's also okay that the blood means okay, just flows in one direction. Did that make sense?
Yes.
So that's when you can say it's okay, unidirectional flow in one direction. You say, okay, I'm not a fan of fancy words. Well, okay, you can just say, okay, if you don't want to root, you can say, okay, in one direction. Clear? But the question comes, just okay, how? By preventing what we call backflow. So practically, yes, okay, or what you actually, yes, okay, will be asked about is that the function of the valves is pretty much to prevent backflow of blood. Clear? Did that make sense? Now, what would we mean by backflow? You can say, okay, I was a drop of blood. Okay, so we were a group of blood cells, or you are part of blood that okay has made from the right atrium to the left, to the from the right atrium to left to right ventricle. Sorry, guys. Clear? Did that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. How were we able to do that? Mainly because okay, the blood. Mainly okay because we made a way through the tricuspid valve and that was open. Clear? Okay. But the actual function of the tricuspid valve in this case is going to be whatever blood entered the right ventricle from the right atrium should not be able to go back. The main is going to prevent this flow of blood from the right ventricle back into the left right ventricle. From the right ventricle back into the right atrium. Likewise, okay, from the pulmonary artery back into the right ventricle. Likewise, okay, from the left ventricle into the right atrium, or from the aorta back into the left ventricle. Clear? Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so that is the main function of your valves. Mainly as okay to ensure that the blood flows in one direction. Or you can say, okay, preventing backflow. Or let me just put it this way. Let's say as okay, what's your flow in the school? You walk in from whatever area is okay. North Connecticut, West Connecticut, South Connecticut, whatsoever. Clear? Okay. But you enter, yes, okay, the school through that front entrance. We can say, okay, the vena cavas. Okay. So that waiting area, that's we can say, okay, would be the right atrium. I assume when you guys came to us, okay, look at the school, get a tour, whatsoever, it's okay. Lauren was the girl who talked to you first. Okay. Okay. So she said, well, okay, come into my room, my office or whatsoever. And then you sit there. Then you get, okay, some information about the courses, how much they cost, how much they take, blah, 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 the requirements, blah, blah, so and so. Let's say it's okay, you enrolled. And they will say it's okay, for the first week, 3 months, you will be in classroom number 1. After which, yes, okay, for the next 3 months, you will be in classroom number 2. And so and so. Okay. So once you say it's okay, your class starts, you don't want to go back to Lauren and re-enroll. You already done with that. Right? Okay. Okay. You don't want to go back to her and say it's okay, re-enroll. That would be backflow. Because you can say, okay, then you're back at okay, that's point number 1. Or back at the beginning, yes, okay, where you were XYZ months ago. Clear? Somewhere in the middle of the day, yes, okay, you may yes, okay, go to the cafeteria and that's okay, after break, I meet you guys in classroom number 3. Okay, we're going to do something in class number 3, and then I take you guys to class number 4. And after that, well, okay, yes, leave that door and also okay, go out. Go to your own destinations, home, so on, so on, so on. So tomorrow, yes, okay, you will be coming back. Did that make sense?
Yep.
So yes, okay, once you enter that door over there, well, okay, that's the door to enter. You want to leave the room? Well, okay, there's a door back here. Did that make sense? So you enter from here and you leave there. That's because it's okay, you just be it's okay walking or it's okay proceeding in one direction. And once you enter this room, you can't say, okay, oh shit, I forgot my wallet or my laptop or my water bottle in the room. Well, okay, too bad. We have to make it like a whole trip to come back. Okay, well, you can pick up your wallet tomorrow. Oh, it's okay, your keys or whatever. Okay, but it's okay. Once you enter that door, there's no going back. Because that's pretty much okay. The whole purpose of us having those doors, or we can say so the valves. Did you guys get that? So no going back to yes, okay, to the previous classroom. That's the whole purpose of a door being there. Capiche? Okay, guys. Now, just last points. As far as our valves and so on, so are concerned. So we can mean, yes, okay, just do it this way and say, well, okay, yes. We had a right atrium. We had a left atrium, right? We could say, yes, okay, we have a right ventricle. And we had a left ventricle. Here, between the right atrium and right ventricle, we had a valve that we call the tricuspid valve. Here, whereas between, yes, okay, our right atrium and right ventricle, we had another valve that we call the bicuspid valve. Or we could also call it the mitral valve. But this one we also can call it, okay, the mitral valve. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That we just said, okay, as the tricuspid valve was called a tricuspid valve because it has three cusps or flaps. The bicuspid valve was called the bicuspid valve mainly because it just had two cusps or flaps. And that pretty much, okay, tells us that, okay, yes, these two valves together actually is okay, mainly because we have the term or the word cusp or cuspid in their names. Can be called the cuspid valves. So you can say, okay, what's the name of the right cuspid valve? The name of the right cuspid valve is the tricuspid valve. What's the name of the left cuspid valve? Well, okay, it can go under the name bicuspid valve, or it can go under the name the mitral valve. But these valves in between the atria and ventricle can be called the cuspid valves. You can say, okay, the reason for that is that, okay, you find the term cuspid in their names. Did that make sense?
Yep.
Good. But, these valves here, or the tricuspid valve and the bicuspid valve or mitral valve, can also be grouped together as what we will call or that can be abbreviated as AV valves. Because, okay, here the word A, the abbreviation A actually is, okay, is from atrio, which is going to be, as okay, pertaining to the atria, from atria. O is your combining vowel. And we can say it's okay, the V is going to be ventricular, just pertaining to the ventricles, valves. So why do we call them the atrioventricular valves? Mainly because they are the valves in between the atria and ventricle. Atria and ventricle. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
So what do we call a right atrial valve or atrioventricular valve or AV valve? The tricuspid valve. Whereas the left atrioventricular valve or AV valve is going to be the bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Okay. So this group of valves here is, okay, between the atria and the ventricle can be grouped together. That group can be referred to as the cuspid valves, or that group can be referred to as the AV valves or atrioventricular valves. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Now, on the other hand, we had another set of valves, right? Okay. Here we said, okay, as we had the pulmonary valve. And okay, it's from the aorta, from the left ventricle, is okay, we had what we call the aortic valve. Okay. So these two valves here, that's okay, whether we say it's okay, the aortic valve. And or yes, okay, the pulmonary valve. Okay. Now these two valves together, yes, okay, will be referred to as what they call the semi-lunar valves. Now semi just means half. Lunar, yes, okay, pertaining to the moon. And valves is valves. Okay. So what's going to be, it's okay, your right semi-lunar valve is going to be the pulmonary valve. What's going to be the left semi-lunar valve is going to be the aortic valve. Is that clear? So guys, if you were a teacher of A and P, you can see that, okay, there's a lot of questions can pop up from all this discussion here, right? So yes, okay. You can be asked what's the name of the right atrioventricular valve, right cuspid valve, left atrioventricular valve, left cuspid valve. What is the name of the left semilunar valve or right semilunar valve? Which of the following valves are semilunar valves? Which of the following valves are atrioventricular valves or bicuspid valves or cuspid valves? Anything like that, right? Not to give out all the questions. That's easy to name it. It's going to get more juicy once we talk about as okay. How do these valves here okay work together or work separately to ensure that the blood pumps the heart? Which valves will open together and close together? And when one set of valves is open, what's going to happen to the other set? All that. It's piling up, guys. So who is studying on a daily basis? Okay, I just see 3 hands, 4 hands. Okay, 4 hands, 5 hands. Okay. And guys, that's okay. If you don't understand anything, okay, yes, you're more than welcome to just, okay, look for resources and so on. So, but the easiest way to just, okay, get an answer for your questions is ask me. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more. It's okay. In just one thing, God forbid, okay, as that I never and or as I end up never talking about or mentioning it, and I would have a bad taste in my mouth for that. You guys can see, yes, okay, let me just make it bigger. What the hell? Okay. And now it doesn't want to enlarge. What the? It was this. Okay, I guess maybe we should just. Okay, maybe we should just go on this one then. That's fine. Can you guys see this fellow here?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is labeled. So we said superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, empties into the right atrium. From right atrium goes into the right ventricle. Through, yes, okay, the tricuspid valve. From tricuspid valve, okay, from right ventricle, it goes into the pulmonary artery or pulmonary trunk. Via the pulmonary valve, goes to the lungs, come back from the lungs into the left atrium. From left atrium, opens into the left ventricle via the mitral valve or bicuspid valve. And from there, yes, okay, empties into the aorta via the aortic valve. Now, what you may see here that, okay, it's your right ventricle and left ventricle is being separated by this layer of myocardium here, or flap here. Okay, so this is actually, it's okay, going to be, it's okay, what we call the interventricular, because it's in between the two ventricles, septum. Where mainly is okay, where the septum mainly is okay, is going to, it's okay, be any structure that separates, in this case, that's okay, the two sides, or you can say the two ventricles on either side. Is that clear? So God forbid that I end up not mentioning it. Okay. that the right and the left ventricles are separated by this layer of myocardium called the interventricular septum. Now, guys, tomorrow we'll just have it's a little last follow-up on spatial characteristic of our AV valves. Okay, and then it's go on from there. Okay, guys. I guess the only punchline or wise word I have to say now is have a nice day. And try to read.
Bye. Talk tomorrow.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.